guys. So, welcome back to Ascending with Tiff Talks 22. I know I have not recorded for the podcast in a really long time, but boy, Spirit played something on my heart today, and I felt like, okay, maybe other people need to hear this. Because I feel like it's really over the past couple of years, something that I have definitely become aware of in my own family. And so I've definitely looked into these things. And what are these things that I'm talking about? I am talking about generational patterns. Some people would call them generational curses, but I don't want to really call them curses, because everything that feels like it's a bad thing that happens to you is not necessarily a curse, right? Because why? Child. So many of us, so many of you are here to break these patterns, okay? To break these curses, whatever you want to call it. So many of you are here to break these patterns. Let me tell you how I got to this train of thought this morning. I had run across a girl's social media post where she was basically just telling her story. And so I ended up kind of exploring her page and getting a little more background. But what she showed was her sister, her best friend, was struggling with addiction, and she overdosed. She passed away. When she found her sister was already pregnant with a baby. She already had one son, and then she gave birth to another little boy and passed away like 3 months later. So she was going to try to adopt the baby. She said, of course, she took the baby home from the hospital. Like, they were staying with her because of her addiction. Anyway, and the baby ended up dying. But almost exactly a year from what I recalled about the dates prior to that, she had another sibling who passed away from an overdose. And as I went through her page and I'm exploring, their mother passed away when they were all children from an overdose. Okay. So my first thought was, boy, of course that's a lot. It's a lot. She wouldn't really expand on how the baby died. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just an immense amount of grief that this young lady must have been feeling or dealing with, right? But what really caught my attention was that you had two siblings that overdosed within a span of a year, and already the mother had transitioned in the same way when they were children. So my initial thought was, somebody in that family is going to break this curse. Okay? They're going to break this pattern. But there is definitely going to be a need for someone to tap into other ways of coping, since they might likely have addictive patterns or behaviors, right? So there's going to be a need to find a more healthy way of coping with life stresses, or whatever, grief, whatever it is that drives us to numb with drugs. And so I was just thinking, bless that person in their family who is here to break the curse, right? And it got me to thinking. I was thinking about this last week, generational curses or patterns, they can cross genetic lines up to 7 generations. Okay, and I feel like if you follow me on social media, you've seen me or heard me mention that several times, because I'm just blown away by the depth of it. And let's be clear, it does not always have to be something as serious or as overt as drug addiction, right? I had a friend, you've seen me tell this story, probably in relation to genetics as well, who ended up getting pregnant before marriage, right? Super religious family. She's a preacher's kid. Ended up getting pregnant before she got married. So she was like, oh, I now got to marry this fool, right? So that's what she did. I feel like the conversation was not had until after it happened to her. That had also happened to her mother. But her mother and father were already engaged. Just happened to get pregnant beforehand, so they had to shotgun it. Her older sister, same thing happened to her. They were dating, happened to get pregnant, shotgun, right? Same thing happened to her younger sister, who was like, 4 years younger than us. Same thing. So I know from our interactions that she is aware of this pattern, right? So I was thinking of these generational patterns and curses, and I was like, okay, Spirit, because that's her whole generation, all her siblings, except her brother. I doubt that he'll ever have children unless he adopts. But other than her brother, they were aware of the pattern. They were aware of the curse, they just repeated it, right? So who breaks the curse, right? So awareness, of course, is one major part of breaking the curse. But Spirit told me, okay, some of you are here to break the patterns, but some of you will give birth to the children that break the patterns. That's where I was going with that. Okay, so some of you are here to actually break the patterns. Some of you are here to give birth to the children that will break these generational patterns and curses in your family. And of course, like I said, awareness is a major step in doing that. But then there has to be different actions taken, different choices made that are going to allow you to have a different outcome. I know this to be true. We are often, a product of our environment, of our circumstances, of the world around us, right? So it can be very, very, very difficult to resist what we've seen or how we grew up, what we've seen done in those circumstances. So I just wanted to come and remind somebody today, if you are feeling overwhelmed or burdened by something that you feel has been passed down from generation to generation, and please don't think it is please don't think that it's something that is not happening. It absolutely happens. If you can pass on the good traits, the work ethic, the morality, those things, then please believe you pass on the bad ones as well. All right. So just know that it happens. Please don't doubt it. But if you are dealing with this type of thing, just know that that is your purpose here. If you are feeling like, okay, I'm confused, I'm lost, I don't understand, why do these things keep happening? Because you are here, Goosey's right now, you are here to break this pattern. You're here to break this curse. Or you'll give birth to the child, you'll father the child, you'll mother the child who breaks this cycle in your family. And also, now we touched on the pregnancy thing and forcing yourself to marry. So that could be twofold, especially if you take my viewpoint, right? It could be a lesson in living your truth, living authentically, marrying for reasons of pure love, not entrapment, right? It could be not being so attached to an image that you force yourself into a life of unhappiness because it's what's expected of you. It could be premarital sex, but I don't believe that's it. That, right? The other family, the coping mechanisms, even within my own family, as far as relationships go, mine is definitely connected to relationship patterns and marrying or attaching to healthy loves that are based on pure love, not convenience, not superficiality, any of those things, right? So I'm definitely trying to be the one on that one, okay? But I'm just giving these examples because I want you to know that these curses and these patterns come in so many different forms. But we just have to be willing to look at them, to see them, to acknowledge that that's what they are, and to choose to be the one to move differently. All right? Yeah, so I just wanted to come on and give that reminder. I had was talking to Spirit about that, and it was just like, whoa, somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that. And so I was supposed to be doing this personal, but I was like personal reading, but I was like, no, I gotta get this out of me before I move on. I'm not gonna be able to. I had to come and tell you guys that. So if you are feeling like you are just damned, like there's a purpose in that feeling, and you might be the one, right? You might be the one. I hope this message finds you well, guys. For Tiff Talks 22, I'm definitely working on my website still. We had definitely dropped the ball and kind of was moving slow on that, but we're definitely working on that still. So that is going to be up. I will definitely become a little bit more consistent with my podcast. But as you know, I really try to only move as Spirit guides me to move when it comes to recording. So I don't ever want to say I'll record this many episodes a week, because oftentimes I don't have that much to talk about where I feel like it needs to be that consistent, right? So, just as I am guided to share and to come up with something to share, or that needs to be said, or I feel that, or Spirit leads me to that, then I'll do that. But definitely stay tuned. Follow me on the social media platforms that I am on, and I look forward to seeing or hearing or talking to you guys soon. Bye-bye.